Saan sa? Sa doon ay laki ma? Isda?
May
Patay.
pangat.
Why it's so dark? Okay. There's si daddy, si mama. Ano sila ini? Ato ibalhin ang sunflower para gwapo daw view. Ay, si Orga si Charlie. Yung magkaon sa kanto na yung kulang kayo. Si Dada.
Dali na gusto. Bibila na suda.
Baby dog? The baby dog. Maniha punta, nagdala sila o sudan, hayahay. Ano?
Ang tagawin. Ano ko tulog doon?
Ano naman to siya? Eren. Hala, cute kay ang cat. Ah!
Very good.
Wow, cute kay ang cat. Siamese. Be, katong iringa nakita dito sa kuan. Sa St. Francis Assisi Parish.
Maya, katong gingon ninyo na iring sa Malagos mo na.
I was willing to please spend to get these tickets. At the end of the day, we were all just like that little number of dollars in that bingo spin Months pass as I eagerly await our fate. Then, the email pops up in my inbox. I click it, scanning it way too quickly to understand any of the contents until my eyes catch it. Successfully obtained tickets. We're gonna see bingo! Suddenly I had color again. This is what living feels like. Air tasted more pure. The sun was smiling, beaming even. I smiled back for the first time. Something smelled like toast. You have no idea how excited I was. I don't even understand why I love Hatsune Miku as much as I do, but she has become one of the pillars of my being. Let's jump to the day of the concert. Jacob and I are in Japan and are just about to arrive at the convention center. I remember looking out the window of the taxi, getting so excited to see people wearing their Miku kimonos, and they had Miku bags. I felt like I was finally around my people. We get there, walk into the convention center, and a blast of Hatsune Miku hits us. Giant Miku statues and posters, booths stocked with Miku merchandise, almost everyone dressed head to toe in Miku clothes. Hatsune Miku suitcases. I around and look at everything all at once. Jacob lost me because I just started walking off in different directions like a Miku moth. We spent a few hours looking around and buying things. We spent a lot of money, but eventually we started getting ready for the live concert. I was giddy with excitement at this point. She was gonna be right in front of me. We found our seats and dude, we were pretty damn close to the stage, especially for randomly selected seats. I couldn't believe how close we were gonna be to Hatsune Miku. I already knew going into it I was gonna cry frame one. If you didn't know, it's pretty standard to have special Miku glow sticks you can shake to the beat of whichever song is playing. You can even switch them to the coordinated color of whichever Vocaloid was on stage at the time. I've only learned about it from watching videos of concerts on YouTube thus far, and I gotta say, it was so fun to see people before the show warming up their arms and practicing their glow stick moves. They really take Hatsune Miku seriously, and I respect it so much. Some people were even quadruple wielding glow sticks. The record I personally saw was 6, like some sort of Miku Wolverine. It was a huge bummer though, because Jacob and I tried to buy some sticks of our own at the expo hall, but they were already sold out, so we didn't have any. It was kind of embarrassing. Soon enough, the Miku songs the venue was playing started getting louder, and the house lights dim, and man, seeing the lights dim down, and the teal glow of all the sticks emanating together to light up the room. Honestly, it made me tear up. I don't even think I realized how much I loved Hatsune Miku until that moment. Being completely surrounded by people who love her just as much and more than I do. This is what it's like to be into music, isn't it? To experience these moments being completely engulfed in a community, all connected by a single art. I get it now. It's beautiful. The room glowed Miku blue, and everyone was cheering and shaking their glow sticks, anticipating her appearance. All the Vocaloids were introduced one by one with text on the hologram screen. Miko, Ruka, Kaito, Kagamina, Raymond Lan, and then Hatsune Miku. The crowd was ballistic. I could already feel myself holding my tears. A little digital poof explosion goes off, and there she was, right in front of us. She started singing, and Jacob and I were cheering and bouncing with the rest of the crowd. By the time she got a couple songs in, Jacob and I were definitely feeling left out for not having the glow sticks to shake. So we pulled out our Miku plushes to use in place of them, and that felt much better. By the end of the concert, Jacob was even dual-wielding Mikus. After a few songs, Miku disappeared, and the other Vocaloids played some of their songs. I honestly don't know them as well, so I wasn't too familiar with most of the songs they all played, but I was having a great time nonetheless. It was pretty Then Miku came back, and the concert continued.
Papi, yay!
Nice glow stick moves. Replaced with our Miku plushes, of course. Classic R&B, the on-beat, off-beat, the building cheer on to beat, even throw in the a really crazy arm higher up in the posture with almost no break. And if you don't then Hatsune Miku thinks you hate her. I wanted to mention that in Vocaloid concerts, they have a recording of the Vocaloid because, you know, but all the other instruments were absolutely real. There was a live band playing all the songs for the entire set. In the middle of the concert, they were given a nice little appreciation moment, showcasing all the band members by name, accompanied by a little solo I got to play. I'm a big bass fan and would love to learn how to play it one day. And I know bass players get super neglected because everyone wants to watch the cool guitar players, so I gave extra attention to the Miku bass player. They definitely noticed me cheering for them, probably because I could tell everyone was watching the guitar players and I was the only one actually looking at them. And the bass player smiled super wide and raised his bass to me, and I just thought that was a nice moment. Appreciate your bass players, guys. They need it. Anyway, the concert went on. There were awesome lasers and sparklers, fun costume changes from all the Vocaloids. Shout out to the guy in front of us that was there with his
Hello, ano pong kinakain ninyo po? Ang cute mo.
Ang cute mo daw. Ay, thank you, Ana. Thank you.
Unsa daw yung gikaon?
You know how at least in America people are cheering and screaming. Well, Japan is like so polite. They were saying it like a suggestion. It was so quiet. Kind of just a long session of applause with a whisper of Miku, Miku. Like, if I were Hatsune Miku, I would have questioned if they even wanted me on tour in the first place. For like 5 minutes straight. I was fully convinced she came out for her last song. It was a blast. She was in her next album for the year. And it was over. I've only gone to one other concert in my entire life, and it was because a friend in college had an extra ticket and invited me along. I didn't even know the band at the time. It was some random group called Fallout Boy or something. But I could have been to 1,000 concerts and still say this was the best one I've ever been to. I loved the energy. I loved how passionate and excited everyone was to be there. And I loved Hatsune Miku, and still do. I want to go to so many more of her concerts. It was a great event for me, and I want to relive it again and again. You might think it's weird or you don't get it. It's just a hologram robot. That's totally fine. If you can't find it in Vocaloid, everyone has the opportunity to connect with a family community to enjoy like I have with Hatsune Miku. Because all the concerts are so incredible, and I feel so lucky to have been there. I just want everyone to experience something like that in their lifetime. Getting into Vocaloid can be a bit intimidating, so for anyone that wants to give Miku a try or is just looking for a playlist of some of my favorite Vocaloid songs, I'm putting a link to a Miku playlist I've made and actively listened to.
Oh, Yaki Dorian is so very yucky. Yes,
if I can convert at least a few people into Miku playlists, that would be my book.
Oh my God.
The name of it is a thrilled dragon, and it was very deadly. But despite how
Maghinapon, rata mo tungko sa salong guys.
including for
Ate nagay kong tinidor, pero kahit katong
Anyways, let's just buy this thing. In this video,
Why
I'll
are
be
so
judging
many-
a dinosaur.
Inaalala ka lang yung
Like taking like this off. Before any of that.
Nagising nito. Asa man? Kasi nagdudo kay Dudo. Wala ba ulit?
I've got it. I first put together the glasses to build the dream home inside of. And anyways, now it's time to actually build the dream home. And to do that,
Ay, naka-order, nakapag-send ako sa inyo.
Sprayed a ton of
Kung saan ito ni Cyber na Cyber Tech?
creating a forest in here.
Ito, ulahin na ata ng dahil sa istorya ni Cyber.
Oh, man!
Ulahin na siya nakuha.
You can see this thing is already looking very, very beautiful and natural with all that wood.
Adora.
But it's also looking a bit
Isoy, sa
like
today.
this too. So let's get to doing
So,
stuff,
Dora.
starting with the floor. Now I know I was just complaining about everything being brown.
Oo,
but
lasoy Dora.
you gotta use some brown
Lasoy
dirt.
Dora.
So yeah, the cheapest way to get a bunch of quality dirt is using these compressed coconut fiber bricks, which may
Oh,
not
that's
seem
right,
like
Dora.
but if we add
Magkano Dora?
to it, well,
Ay, di pa okay.
finally, I mixed in a bunch of other types of brown stuff because that's what forest floors got, you know. All right, this is fun.
Wala,
Almost
kikiting
like
ka pa. Wala,
almost
wala.
some key things. So let's move on to step 3. plants and
Ay, namawala.
Now, first of all, I've got 2 different types of moss, which to start, I'll use carpet moss, which comes conveniently packaged in this box. Now, I always thought moss was just like dead
Oh
grass
my
or something, but it's actually an alive organism that
Kuya,
lives
hindi
in
na kaya
tiny
nilipot mo ng sarili yan kay
area.
mas
Pretty
stress
cool.
ang beauty.
And I also spread a different type of moss around to add a little bit more variety. Now, this moss is absolutely fantastical. You know, really
Really, the yummy is durian because
I'm
it's
gonna
very
need way
hard.
more plants if I'm gonna make this thing look like the dinosaur's actual habitat, which means I'm gonna go get some actual plants with leaves and flowers on them and stuff like that. Yeah. So of course I gotta make sure to go to the best plant store in town. Which if you see my channel before, you already know where I'm going, baby. I had some people shame me for going to Walmart for plants in a previous video. Clearly you guys don't understand the fantastical selection of plants they got.
Sige. Oh my God, why it's so very like pink?
So I got a couple small plants, and I also got one
Ay, pagkukunin mo lang, parang
big
hindi ako
dinosaur right
kumain.
there. And while I was walking around there, I also saw they had some plant Legos. And I like Legos, so of course I bought
Open namin na si.
When I got home, I figured I should just build a Lego set real quick to see how those plants look. So I put that all together, and then I put each of the plants inside of the enclosure. I checked it. Oh, this looks so cool. I'm just getting this actually Get this trash out of
Ay,
here.
asa din yung ulo mo?
The plants I bought, I placed them around the tank. There we go. This thing is starting to come together well. In order to complete the decorations, I need to add a huge piece of wood that goes diagonally from the bottom of the tank to the top of the tank, so that the dinosaur will be able to have easy access to the heat lamp that will be at the top. And this is the only wood I have right now. Definitely not enough to get to the top. So in order to get some more wood, I went outside to find some. Okay, so I basically just need to get some sort of branch that's nice and thick and long, and that's kind of too thin. I need something that's not going to snap under the pressure of the dinosaur. But oh, this one actually looks pretty good. Look at this. My hand kind of wraps around it. That's good thickness. So I went inside and grabbed the biggest knife from my kitchen, and I got the sign. This should only take like 30 minutes. Eventually, I was able to get this fantastical piece of wood that would work perfectly. So I quickly closed it down to remove dirt and insects and put that back inside. After breaking it down so it would fit, I put it in place and covered the bottom with some more wood. And boom, the decorations are completed here. But of course, I'm not just going to leave the tank like this. We've got first added some technologies to make this the best enclosure ever, starting with some water technology. The first water technology I got is this little box, which is actually an automatic humidifier. You see, pro dragons need the humidity in their enclosure to be pretty high. Basically, this, well, you know, by spraying water everywhere. The second water technology I got is extremely high tech. It's a water bowl. So you know the dinosaur can drink the water and stuff.
Okay, rasyonan na to itong mga kaitsunan ikan sa Ginoo.
Pro dragon actually is a nice little flow of water, which pro dragon will actually drink. Well, now there's just one more thing to build before I
Walang
start
ulan.
dragging this, and that is, and basically what that means is I need to
Magduha.
sun in this enclosure. To do that, I got a heavy
Ancang duha.
and an expensive top.
Ay, duha na ila bibe. Sa kudalhan na tanan lek. Kuha dito.
I also got another lamp with a high intensity heat bulb because real dragons like to
Ate, kuha dito dalihan ka.
Oo, natagita ko.
hooked up a thermometer, and as you can see, it reached up to 100 degrees in the basket spot, which is perfect. Finally, I put a bit of aluminum foil on top to keep the heat and humidity inside. Okay, well, the frilled dragon foam is now complete, and well, it's time to add it inside. And the next day, I got a notification on my phone saying the package was ready for pickup. So I drove out to FedEx. Alright, so I just got back from FedEx, and I just picked up this box, which is probably the frilled dragon. I mean, it says it's a live animal.
No, mayat ko si.
But anyways, I'm gonna take this thing inside.
Anak kayo sila sa'yo. Anak siya. Anak kita, oh.
Stickers right there.
Anak siya sa anak.
But before I do anything like that, let's just start by opening up this
Super
box.
easy mo sa mundo eh.
It's definitely a dinosaur. Now that I have the frilled dragon, I'm gonna find out if dinosaurs are actually good pets by doing stuff like feeding it, taking it outside, and even more. But first, let's get this guy in the enclosure. Now, this may not look like a dinosaur just yet, because the skin on its neck only comes out on special occasions. But trust me, I will be showing you exactly what it looks like later in the video. Okay, well, the dinosaur is in its enclosure right now. Honestly, I'm still scared to get within 5-foot radius of this thing. Like, I have no idea if this is as gross as I guess we're gonna find out. For now, I already know this guy is very hungry. Spending a day in that shipping container.
I already know this guy.
The bowl is already messed up because he was like jumping around and sitting there like I thought he would. So to give him a drink of water, I turned my water pump on a very low setting, which made little drops of water fall above the dinosaur. Immediately, he started to sneak out his head and take little sips, which is actually and he just started to bask in it like he was taking a shower. Dang, this guy is as ferocious as I thought. He actually is pretty chill right now. Now, to feed this little dragon, I asked the guy I bought it from which insect this dinosaur's made with, and he said crickets are one of the best. So, I got a bag of some pretty big crickets. Bro, what are these guys all running around? It's not like you guys gonna escape. And literally immediately after I put a bunch of them in, the dinosaur started to go crazy, as you can see, jumping all around the enclosure to get a nice juicy meal. And to show you just how cool it is when the frilled dragon hunts, I hired a professional nature documentary narrator to tell you what's going on. Look at this.
In this small, recreated prehistoric world, a cricket of course, but nearby. A creature with roots deep in ancient history has the movement. Suddenly, the dragon's head snaps towards the cricket. In an instant, it leaps forward, jaws closing around the cricket with precision. The cricket's meal is cut short, now being completely devoured by one of nature's best hunters.
Now, as you can see, that was very cool, and the dinosaur is a very good hunter. So to rank how good of a pet this dinosaur is, we're going to rank a bunch of different factors. And because it was super cool watching this guy drink and eat, I'm going to give Air a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. That's a pretty good score. Good job, bro. But another important factor that goes into a pet being good is how friendly it is and whether or not I let you handle it. Now, dogs are the perfect example of this. You know, they're super fluffy and nice, and they pretty much never bite you.
Why are you like that? Montero. Montero, minita na me. Marag Montero.
Sinitan, bibe. Palitan ni Dong. Dong.
Ayaw, punta ba ka ng anak? Balang sang may
Picture of a dog. I've been like,
Muna na kay work sa nagpalit ng card ayaw mo
it was pretty.
Dong, inig na kay work palit ng card.
Can we get a dog?
Ikaw mag-drive.
Can we get a dog?
Nakiride na si tita.
Patay ko ha.
My parents had to sit through years of that until my dad finally couldn't handle it anymore and got me one for my birthday against my mom's will. Besides getting me a dog. I mean a bunch of fish. Fishing for the dogs who won't know. They come home with 2 fish from the pet store that would last for about a week, die, and then get returned. Repeat until the dog appears. How many fish must die before I get what I want? What if we got fish from the pet store and not an actual breeder? That was probably a big contributing factor on why they died so quickly. But as a 5-year-old, I also just forgot to feed them a lot, so there's got to be some fish blood on my hands for that. We went through probably 20 fish in the span of a couple months, but eventually we got these 2 goldfish that didn't die. A true miracle. They were pretty resilient little dudes. One was Goldie, and the other was sadly named Fishy. Probably some of the most creatively flawless names I've ever known. But after a while, Goldie turned white, so I renamed it Rainbow because I thought it was cool he could change colors. I learned 13 years later from my marine biology teacher that Goldie/Rainbow was probably diseased, which makes the color change less exciting. We eventually gave them away to my mom's friend and they died. But that's all besides the point. My parents got me an army of fish and a dog I named Scruffy, but that was it. I wasn't able to crack them any further than that. And believe me, I tried. My parents had to become stone-faced, emotionless soldiers to keep my non-stop beseeching for more creatures at bay. After they got me a dog, I was pretty satisfied for about a year and a half until I decided I wanted a mouse. So they had their cute little faces and how they crawl with their cute little feet and my sucking ears made me obsess over having one, and my parents got to hear all about it.
Wala na siya balingit. Look at your face. Look at your face. Naay balingit wala. Wala. Na ang gudoy. Sure diha oy. Ipakita sa iya ma. What is that? Wala din na yan. Wala yung balingit.
No way, no. I'd never get rid of Scruffy. He's my pal for life. But not gonna lie, after hearing that response over 10 times, I started kind of
Okay ra ka sanay? Duha na pariharan ang agtang ninyo dako kay mo problema.
because I thought for some reason I foiled their plan and found a loophole. You can't overrun it.
Ano yung problema ninyo?
Christmas morning rolled around and I ran into the room where all the presents were. Not only find no mouse, but a computer mouse. I saw to the room there, Mom. I got my hopes up.
Ay, ikaw si May.
My disappointment was immeasurable, and my Christmas was ruined. I did get a computer mouse, but my parents endured 5 years of me asking for a mouse. I read this book series called Maximum Ride, which was about these samurais who had bird wings and were on the run to not get captured by the scientists who wanted to keep experimenting on them. It was my favorite book series as a kid, and it made me really like birds, which resulted in the next animal obsession. I swear to God, I gotta have one more mention of the mouse again. Yes, I started loving birds back when I was in 6th grade. Everyone say a big thanks to James Patterson for creating this bird-obsessed monster. At the time, I wanted one of the big boy birds. I usually the Amazon parrot to be exact. I would spend hours just watching all the YouTube videos I could find of them and sending them to after watching them play in a box and sing old songs. That's a whole new type of fixation. And that fell in the ground where the cage could go with Amazon parrot breeding bird near me. I made multiple PowerPoint for my parents on why they should let me get a parrot. It was intense and the pressure was on. My mom was even like, what about that mouse? But no, that ship is stale. Now I want a 15-inch parrot that lives for 80 years. They started telling me, you can get a bird when you move out. And from then on, it was my goal to get out of my parents' house as soon as I could. Obviously, I never got a yellow-necked Amazon parrot, but I never really got out of my bird phase because I've got this stick right here. I was pretty simple asking for a parrot was a long shot. I wanted a bird. I wanted a animal. When I was 14, I started really liking flying squirrels. They were my favorite animal for a while.
Nag-away sila siya. Away nila. Kasi problema nila duha.
Bothered
my parents too much about getting flying as much as the mouse and parrot.
Turn
They
on.
knew I wanted it. And I knew they were going to say no. So I guess I just kept that one a bit more. During the summer, we would visit our family in Canada. And my cousin Peyton was
Kasi
really
problema
obsessed
nilang
with
duha niya
ferrets
siya
as
hindi
well.
niya.
So we would spend literally entire days on computers together. And Amazon parrot.
No, it's not money.
Let's not forget. We wrote down
They don't have money problem.
how to care for them, added up how much money they cost, including cages, bedding, etc. We were this obsessed. It was a lot of fun, actually. We bonded a lot. She's still one of my
Sabi mo niya na siya sa stage na kanta.
Ay, slide lagi, mabuti na.
Ay, da.
O, da. Risi.
meant
High five viewers.
Ewan, may puso na to.
Smart, and I always
May
wanted
puso
to
na
play
video.
Shout out to Rachel Obando.
Ah, tanawa pa.
And that's it.
Halakyan pa.
defended if we
Ligit
were
ka,
about
Day.
to play it for at least 3 hours.
Natuwad yung
The
bangko.
time is
Would let me
6:16.
have a rat, and my mom was like, "Nope," and I'd be all, "But what about the time you were gonna let me get a mouse because I was asking for a parrot?" And she would say, "Nope,
Okay,
that
white,
ship is
white
sailed."
klase ugma.
Touche, mother. During 10th grade, I was
White klase.
May klase pa ka?
like raccoon.
Oh, white klase ugma.
Mayroon pa.
Mama is very happy that we have no class tomorrow. What happened to mama? Oy?
But
Wow, daghanan na ako kung ano. Ay, kaning bracelet. Ibaligya ako ganun.
Ang bangko.
Shout out sa bracelet nga tag 20.
and I'm not sad. The
Kisa yung bracelet be?
There's so great about having a raccoon buddy.
Wow, it's very
Finally, I
beautiful.
graduated from high school and moved into
Found
a
this
dorm
one.
house that didn't allow pets, which was torture for me. I waited all this time to move out, and I'm
Kinsa ni ma?
to bring a horde of mice, rats, birds, sugar gliders, and maybe a
Nicole,
raccoon.
taguin ni bebe.
YouTube started kicking off shortly after, and
Taguin
I
ni
moved
ko ni
back
mama.
in with my parents to pursue
Ah,
that.
dali lang. Ato lang hatag si mama niya, Nicole.
And I was finally
Okay
able
naman
to
di
get
ha?
it. After 10 years of wanting a bird, I finally got it. And what a gander he is. Was he worth the wait? No, he's a dumb bird.
Tita's babies are so very, I don't know what happened.
I'm not currently looking
This
to
is
get any more
Jessica's
animals right now,
flower.
even though I
We bought
really
it
want
at
them.
Salinas.
I have Ari, and he's
And
already
she's
enough of a
getting it
handful, so I
back.
can't commit to anything
Cannot
else right
get
now.
it.
I am gonna get a dog eventually. That's
Bebe,
a
ah.
promise. And I do really like reptiles, so I've done my fair share of research.
Nalama ko
on
kidban,
this,
bebe.
But that's only a 30% chance to actually happen. I haven't really grown out of my
I did it
animal
more,
phase.
sister.
feel
I don't know
like
if she's
I'm
really
back
beautiful.
in my parents, still hopelessly entranced by creatures.
Ay,
But
mama
also
there.
want to
Not my
tell myself
boobs.
no
My
because I
little
have
boob.
other stupid responsibilities. Hopefully, when I have kids,
Hi,
they
baby,
won't be
it's
as animal obsessed as I am.
Shout
because
out to
I don't think I
Ginger,
have the
who's
strength
home.
right
Oh
now
my
to be
god!
able to
God.
say
Oh my god!
Thank God I'm responsible and never got it.
Luyo, padong pagkikumudakop ni Ginger. Naluya ni Ginger. Ay, ako na po, Nicole.
Ingon sila na de.
My first memory as a child is being strapped
And
down
Cosme
with
is so
God's
very
fish
emotional
and
there.
dentist
Cosme!
rips out all my teeth
Oh my
as
God,
I
wala kang
scream
pagkaon.
bloody murder against my
May
will.
mga nimong buhok daw. Hindi nagwa na yung buhok.
Ever since
Yeah.
little, I've had a really intense
Joanna,
fear of
ago?
the dentist. I'm not sure why. I mean,
Ay, hi,
the
mimi.
dentist is every
Tell
time,
me,
but
what's
even
wrong?
as an adult,
Ano,
I
Joanna,
understand
sila niya,
that
Day?
I'm not in
Classmates,
anything
mga na
to
sila.
the dentist
Ay,
is just trying to pick up
pareho
bits of
grado.
plaque I've built up over the past 6 months.
Okay, this
If
is
anything,
hot
I
and
should
I'm
be
not.
scared of how
Ew.
much they charge. Even though
Daddy,
I know
you're
that
having
my body
so much
shakes
work. Have you been? Oh my God.
when they do anything more than floss my teeth, which is still kind of scary because they're always so aggressive about it. Every memory I have of going to the dentist while I was a kid
Our
is filled
baby
with me
cat,
just
our
bawling
baby
my
cat.
eyes out during the
It's
entire
not
process.
baby, it's
And
very
then
old
later
already,
on,
but
when
her
I was
cat
like
and she
pushing
calls
because I was
Yung
full.
baby, oh.
Good. I mean, you're not fooling anyone. Even I knew that was just a loadable. No, I still want it. When I was in 6th grade, my parents decided to finally slap some braces on my mouth. My teeth were pretty straight, but I had an overbite, so I just looked like a nice horse. My mom made an appointment with the orthodontist to talk about the process.
happened
And while there, he told me I've still got 5 baby teeth and I need to pull them out before I get braces for common sense purposes. So they sent me out, and I basically had a month to pull out all 5 teeth before they were going to work for me, which I did not like the idea of. The imagery of and intense, overwhelming fear, and I wiggled those 5
Diba,
different
ano
ways
sa primero ni
every
Charlie
single day
Kahit
since
na
that
baka?
meeting. A few of them weren't even wiggling yet, so it was going to be a race against the clock.
Hindi ba katulad ni Pakita yung ari
By
yung
the end of the month, I managed to
Hindi,
pull out
katulad
3
ni
teeth
Sir na
on
yung ari
the other.
pamantoro.
But it wasn't enough, which meant my mom was going to have to schedule that dreaded nightmare appointment where they were going to shove needles down my throat. I was in the living room and could hear her make the call, which made
Jingo,
my
what's your
stomach
problem?
sink, and I felt petrified that doomsday was going to be my reality in a few days. I could hear them preparing all 100 needles and barbed wire over the phone. That little reality check was enough to fear charge me into new power levels. Maybe an hour or 2 after she confirmed the appointment with the orthodontist, I'd ripped out the last 2 of my teeth. The conversation where my mom had to cancel the extraction appointment 2 hours after she booked it was the biggest feeling of relief I've ever had. She also had $75 because she
Nanangin daw mama na yung mga gamit na lang.
scary done to her teeth, she continues to live a happy life, only needing to go to the dentist for cleaning and no freaky mouth procedures for the rest of her days. She got her horse teeth fixed and the rest is history. So last year in June, I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out. My wisdom teeth had been growing in and shoving their aggressiveness into the sweet harmony of my existing teeth for a few years. My mom intended to get them removed when I turned 18, but I think she forgot, and I thought I could get away with it, but they were starting to get really painful and annoying. One was coming in sideways, which made my gums get in the way while I ate, which made me only chew food on the left side of my mouth for like a whole year. I'd had enough and figured I just needed to get it over with and have them ripped out. I scheduled an appointment to get them removed on June 11th and braced for impact the rest of the week. Before the extraction, they wanted to have a meeting with me to discuss the process of what they're doing and how they're doing it. They put on one of those 90s informational videos and everything seemed fine until we got to the part where it was talking about sedation. In the video, they said that some sort of gas is used to induce conscious sedation, the kind that makes you really not remember anything. But then the nurse typed in and said, "We don't do that." And the video continued. So what? I was gonna be fully conscious while you needle and drill and curl my mouth? Answer the question! After the video, I said, so is there a way I can be at least semi-unconscious for this? The nurse prescribed me a medication called Valium that will help calm me down, which was relieving to hear. All I wanted was to not be conscious. In the daytime. Excited to not be conscious. My roommate and I got into the car to take me to the appointment, and that's when it really sunk in. This medication isn't doing anything for me, and I need some. Do you have any chlorophyll? Apparently, Valium is not relaxing enough so that you're awake, but don't really care what's happening. But by the time the dentist was calling me back to the chair, my nerves were still going haywire. Proof of consciousness. I desperately asked the dentist if I could take another one because one pill wasn't doing enough for me, but she said I'll be fine. They laid me back in the chair, put that mouth opener thing in my mouth, put some less on me so I don't put my sensitive blood, and put my mouth. And that's when I couldn't hold it anymore. Fear was overwhelming me the entire day, but that was what really got me. Tears burst down my face, and I was trying desperately not to make that annoying noise when you're trying not to cry too hard, but you need to breathe, but you breathe too much. I kept apologizing because I knew physically I was fine, there wasn't any pain I couldn't tolerate. They hadn't really done anything yet, and I was being irrational. But just the idea that I was awake and present was so intense, and I couldn't handle it. I compose myself after a few minutes and I kept going, but the sounds of them sawing my tooth in half and yanking it out of my gums, and God knows what else, probably just playing tic-tac-toe with needles in there for the heck of it, was horrifying. I'm not scared of much and I'm relatively reasonable for the most part, so it was really surprising and eye-opening to feel genuine, uncontrollable fear. Like, my head told me things were okay, but my body was freaking out, and then my head was like, stupid shit, and then my body was like, all in all, everything went well, and I was able to go home after they finished up a few hours later. Since I wasn't drugged up and just super numb, I didn't have much recovery to deal with other than swelling, and I kind of just chilled for the rest of the day watching.
Ito nga, magkadiha.
Called me.
Wala si Bibi Dalo ay. Oh, wala si Bibi Dalo. Kusme. Wala, mama ay.
Ania, oy, kanang walay bubble.
Ha? Ang lungag na ako dito kuno. Bakit na ito? Takangin na yun. Ay, di mo kabasa pa. Ay, kabasa na ba?
Hindi, may gabasa ka.
If I had to get my wisdom teeth out again, I highly doubt I'd be this freaked out about it. The hardest part was just not knowing what was going to happen and not being able to brace for it. But afterwards, it was like, that wasn't too bad. But also, thank the holy merciful God that I don't need to do that again. So I've got an update. I think I've just been going to a not great dentist. I originally went to them for a retainer, and they're like, this is the place that do my wisdom teeth, by the way. So I went to them for a new retainer, and they're like, oh, we can straighten your teeth a bit first. And I was like, well, alright, sure. My teeth are already pretty straight because of the braces, but I was like, sure, whatever. They said it'll be done in 6 months. 6 months past. Alive right when I wake up, and it's extremely uncomfortable. And they're like, let's slow your teeth down. And 10 minutes of teeth straightening later, they're like, it's not working, let's get more Invisalign. And I was like, and when I mentioned being unsure about things now, they were like, it's normal for Invisalign to last for 2 years. And I was like, 2 years? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about 2 years. Also, I didn't even have braces for 2 years when my teeth were out. So yeah, I'm not there anymore. Follow your dreams,
Kita ko
kids.
nag-init din ako. Isa ako naman ang bear. Ako nagpatbayan. Ako iluluto ko lang.
Welcome back to Jaden doesn't know how to map out video lengths. Okay, so here's the story from Japan, getting home from Japan I was gonna talk about in the last video, but didn't. Please don't make fun of me. It was a long flight. I was very tired. Just kidding, I'm an actual idiot here. There's no excuse. So after another quick flight of 11 sleepless hours, I landed safely and was ready to go home and die. My roommate offered to pick me up, but my house is a good 40 to 50 minutes away from the airport, and I felt bad for making them pick me up so much because a week before I went to Japan, I was in the UK visiting friends for my birthday. Don't give me any birthday wishes. It was in September. It'll be an embarrassment to the both of us. They'd already driven me to and from the airport 3 times in the past 3 weeks, and I didn't want them to use up any more of their time and gas. So I let them know I was just gonna grab an Uber, which worked out because they were invited to go get lunch with a friend and were worried about time overlap. Win-win. They get a nice lunch, I get in a stranger's car. Warning flag number 1. I never used Uber before. I have my own car. I usually don't need to use an app to find a guy with a weird R name to drive me around. 10 minutes of confused button pressing later. Ding!
Bibi!
Will arrive in 5
Ulit
minutes.
ka ulit na. Okay ra ka? Nathan, bantay ng glass na yabo na ha.
Hello? Yeah, I'm at the gate. Terminal B between area 44 and 45. I don't see you. Are you near?
Kinsa na charger yung dala?
Hello?
Connector na?
Cancelled. What? If we were on a date and I was waiting at the table and you called me from outside the restaurant like, hey, you here? Yeah, I'm at the back in the table to the right. You can't stand me up like that. At least give me some sort of reason. Come on. Come back. Gosh. Anyway, I found out that I needed to be on the upper level of the airport because that's where all the app pickups are. Whoopsie, that's my bad. But he could have told me that when he was on the phone with me in the first place, Rajesh. Boom. Everyone's problem is solved here. Here's a bunch of money. When you think about it, Uber is kind of like the opposite of a kidnapping.
Kinsa nang behave kay nga iring? Ah, to na
Take me home. I got a
si
new
Kwan.
Uber that took 15 minutes.
Behave
to
kasi,
arrive, and
Kwan.
an hour later, I was almost home. Maps
Ma,
could be
behave
kinda
kasi.
wonky with my house address,
Precious.
so we started driving past my neighborhood. It was back there. Sorry about that. Oh, that's okay. Which one was it? I live in a little community with a bunch of houses, so I said it was the one on the corner. Could have been more specific, but that's just what came to my mind in the moment. He turned around but stopped at the wrong house and was like, this one? Look, I was running on no sleep for the past 20 hours, so my mush of a brain started being spazzy and socially anxious about the whole situation that wasn't even a situation. Almost all my brain cells were dead at this point, except for the one that ate grass in elementary school. Oh, you had to correct him because Google Maps is being weird? I didn't know you were Satan. I felt like I was bothering him a whole lot with all the one corrections I gave him, so in a panic I was like, this is the wrong house. Yep, this is it. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the hassle. Wow, is it great to be home at this house that I live in again. Oh, how I missed it. Because it is mine. I'm paying this guy, and it's his job to take me to my house. So if it accidentally stops at the wrong one, it helps literally no one for me to be like, oh yeah, this is totally it. I've become a lot more socially confident and calm in the past year. But this is not a good example of that improvement at all. I am aware I look like a wreck right now. I got my stuff in the trunk, walked up the driveway. Thanks. Now I'm standing in the front step of of this random house hiding from an Uber driver, hoping the people who actually live here don't realize the random girl standing here for literally no reason. Yes, this is exactly the spot I wanted to be in right now. Honey, did we adopt a 21-year-old Asian girl? Or is this a very unthreatening house robber? I was stuck there waiting for him to leave, but he was just sitting there! Hey, can you get off the driveway? I don't own already. What the heck, man? I got houses to rob. He was probably waiting to get connected to a new person to pick up, but it wouldn't have looked that great if he was also noticing me poke my head out and peer at him every 10 seconds. I couldn't have started walking to my actual house because I already pretended to walk into my house, and he would have seen me and been like, hey, wait, this isn't your house. What the heck? You lied to me. For literally no reason. And I couldn't have gotten out of the car and started walking to my actual house in the first place because I told him that this was my house. He even double checked, like, you sure this is good? And I was like, yeah. I was so loopy and lethargic from being up for the past 20 hours of traveling. I couldn't even tell what was reasonable at this point. Was I actually pulling this off like I thought I was? The neighbors just watching me dig myself deeper and deeper into this hole. Did the driver actually see me this entire time? Because that would have been hilarious. Mommy, look! A dirty homeless girl! He finally drove off, and I walked over to my actual house across the street. Yes, I've been looking forward to collapsing onto my bed since landing. I can't believe I just did all that. I'm glad the neighbors didn't call the police on me. I don't have any keys. This wouldn't have been a problem at all, because like I said, I have a roommate. But hey, foreshadowing, were you here this whole time? They were at lunch and weren't coming back for the next 3 hours. I'm not a professional when it comes to anything, and that includes breaking into houses. But lord dang it if that skill wouldn't have been pretty darn handy to have right there. Is it a crime to break into your own house, Your Honor? Yes? No? This is kind of a weird situation for both of us, ain't it? I tried the front door, the back door, the garage door, the secret door. There wasn't any way I was gonna be able to get into this house. Which is how it should be. But I was still mad about it. I live in a house that people can't break into. Stupid. I was so drained, I contemplated just laying on the ground of my backyard for 3 hours until someone came home. But I decided that would be an inefficient use of time, and also too much of a depressing scene to look at for anyone walking by. So instead, I ordered another Uber to drive me to where my roommate was, so we could all hang out and then come back to the house together. Almost an hour later, I'm finally there. I tried my best to be social and energetic. We went and got lunch and stuff, but I was just in critical survival mode. Some people get all loose when they're tired or giggly or maybe even more social. But for me, my body just reverts to maintaining the baseline functions for me to just be a human.
Thank you for
I'll
watching
breathe
Love This
and look
Always.
around and not fall over. But that's